The key to successfully completing hazard control is cleaning and using the right cleaners to get the job done. And that begins with, of course, outfitting yourself with the appropriate PPE. I've got my booties on, I've got my gloves, and I've got my N100 respirator. I'm going to keep the respirator off for the purposes of the discussion, but of course I want to wear that anytime I'm involved in activities where I could use one. Anyway, cleaning starts, we use the HEPA vac wash HEPA vac process. The HEPA sandwich is what we call it. So the HEPA vac, 99.97% efficient, 0.3 microns. We start with that, turn it on, make sure we have the appropriate tools to clean all the surfaces. Get that cleaned out as much as possible. One of the nice products that's out there that we created for specifically this need is this Lead Connections kit, all right, which contains all the supplies and materials that you need to properly clean and get your space ready for an evaluation. So you'll find the wipes in there, you'll find some solution, the sponges, the gloves, the booties, and even 2 buckets to get you through it. This is a great way for the DIY or a contractor who's starting out to get going in the process. So you can use the simple to, prepackaged wipes to go ahead and do the cleaning. Pull it out of the container. It's wet, it's pre-wetted. Then we're going to go ahead and open this thing up, and we can just clean the surface. Okay, make sure you use as many of these as you need to. In fact, you can take a look at it and see if there's any dust accumulation on it. If you're still seeing something on the wipe, it probably means it's not clean enough. You want the last. So there we go right there. That one's unacceptable. All right, so we want to continue to do this. Use as many light wipes as we need to. All right, to get this area cleaned out. Okay, so that when we're done, we are pretty confident that it's going to pass both the visual and the wipe sampling that happens after that. So not only do you want to clean the immediate surface where the work occurred, you might want to look down here, get this cleaned up down here, because wipe sampling is going to happen both on sills and on the floor. So another option that you can use, okay, in addition to the wipes, are the cleaners themselves. All right, there's 2 different types of cleaners. The surface cleaner, go ahead and spray that on there. All right, then you can take a paper towel or whatever you need to do the job. That's the initial surface clean. So surface cleaner, all right, removes the lead and other metals from the surface. Go ahead and wipe that down. If you want to give it a final clean, there's another product called Final Clean that you can use. This is a concentrate, so this is actually better off being used in what we call the double bucket method. So you're going to take some of this solution, all right, you're going to put it in one of these buckets. Go ahead and open this up, pour a little bit in there. Of course, you want to follow the dilution ratio requirements that are listed on the label. All of that is on the back here. So we're going to put a little in there, and then we're going to have a rinse bucket. The sort of thing you learned when you were a kid, right? You have one bucket for washing and another bucket for rinsing. So I'm going to go ahead and take a sponge, a rag, whatever you got. These sponges are great, but go ahead and get a little bit of solution on there, right? I don't need to teach you how to clean, but that's the basic idea. All right, you're going to go ahead and you're going to clean that surface down there. All right, this would be better for floors. Of course, you got a bigger area here. Go ahead and clean that. Again, you could look at that. If there's anything on the surface, it's not clean enough. All right, once you got the wash phase done, then you go ahead and you rinse it. All right, give it a rinse. Make sure to change the water in the buckets as frequently as you can. All right, you start to see the buildup of soap or debris in the rinse bucket, you're going to have a problem. So you want to go ahead, you want to wash, and then you want to rinse, and wash and rinse as many times as you can. All right, so once that's done, all right, give it a couple of minutes to dry, and then go to the other side of the sandwich, right, which would be back to that one. So this will allow you to get whatever you may have missed on the 2 initial phases. It's a pretty simple process. You just have to remember the rules, all right? That means being disciplined about covering all the surfaces and using the right products. These are lead-specific or metal-specific cleaners, and if you don't use those, you're probably not going to pass.